Deja vu. How are we all? Here we are. It's Wednesday evening. It's calling o'clock. Calling o'clock? Yes. That is exactly what it is. You can call in and you can have your say. How cool's that? But to start off, obviously, I want to talk about something. Like 48% of Muslims living in Britain and they feel they don't belong in the UK. So that should be something worth discussing and see what you guys think about that one, because it's going to be a strange one. It's going to be a strange one. And also you can call in and talk about whatever you like. That's my chosen thing. Yes, I got my new purple microphone cover. Yes, we do love a bit of purple. Love a bit of purple. How are you doing, Sheil? Hope you're well on this glorious Wednesday evening. Wizard Wednesday. Woohoo. I hadn't said that for a while. But yeah, you can call in. You can actually discuss whatever you like. I'm going to discuss my little bit, see what you guys think. That will be happy days. And then whoever calls in, obviously, they can do whatever they want to talk about. How you doing tonight, Fox? Good evening. You're good? Yep, happy days. That's what we like to hear. Womble Wednesday with the whiz. Wizard Wednesday with the whiz. Wizard, no, what was I going to say? Yeah, Wizard what Womble Wez. It's a Wizard Womble Wednesday with the whiz. Crazy. That'd be funny as. How you doing, Grace? Hope you're well. Hope you say Grace. Come on, Wiz. How you doing, Mr. Waffle? Yeah, smash that like button. Hit the like. Good for the algorithm. Hit like. Like. It's all good in the hood. But yeah, I always find like this Wednesday evening one's a good one where people call in. So you end up talking about whatever. So you do. Grace says Grace. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. But yeah, you can literally talk about anything. Anything's in the news, or it might be a political story. Something you've seen, something you heard. Who knows? You might want to say, oh, I need to tell the world. Not quite the world, but you know, tell all the viewers at least. So, how you doing, Lecture Doc? How you doing? I posted up my advanced song. Yes, Bend for 10. EDM. Instead of going for the rock, I've done EDM, bit of EDM. So yes. Beats and Tapes is playing with his yo-yo. Yo-yo. How you doing, mate? How you doing? So yes, it's a funny old thing. It's a funny old thing. So yeah, it's a positive start in it, 48%. Says many claim the rise of Islamophobia is making them consider leaving Britain imminently. Well, don't consider, just do it. We feel like we don't belong in the UK because you don't belong in the UK. The irony. Yeah, we've got to try hard. Get that number up to 90%. Of course we do. But like 1 in 3 is 1 in 3. Let's see. 1 in 3. But yeah, obviously due to the power of Twitter. Good evening, Jake. Hope you're well. A new poll finds 48% of Muslims living in Britain feel they don't belong in the UK. Many claim that the rise of Islamophobia is making them consider leaving Britain imminently. How do you think the Jews feel with the Muslims trying to like attack them every 5 seconds? What do you think of this? I think it's a fantastic start. That's what I think. Yeah, make that 3 out of 3, innit? Yeah. Oh. It's funny as. Good evening. How you doing, Jerry's? I'm just watching Edge of the Matrix, trying to go into Lefty Loonies. Not trans that there are only 2 sexes. He has no chance. Only 2 sexes. Oh, only 2 sexes. But yeah, I think 48% is a good start. Do you think? Yeah, 110%. But I mean, you got to start somewhere. But the audacity of it. Let's work this out. Bearing in mind, all they do is exist to wipe out the Jews. All they do in Britain and around the world is try to wipe out the Jews. And they want to claim Islamophobia is making them consider leaving Britain. What they're trying to say is too many people on the internet have got wind of Islam, watch things like David Wood and Apostate Prophet. They work out exactly what's going on. They completely understand what Islam is all about now, more than what they would have without the internet. And because they speak up about it, they don't like it. So it's Islamophobia. Islamophobia. Do you know what I mean? So it's an absolute joke, isn't it? How you doing, Rich? You good, mate?
Oh. How you doing? Hold on, let me just unplug this because it's managed to get knotted around. You know them cables. You know, like cables that you keep up in loft and stuff like that. And they always manage to get in a knot. How the fucking hell has it managed that? Anyway, hold on, I've just got to carry out some Cub Scout manoeuvres on this knot.
Yeah, we all know about Al-Zut, the 30 black men in the desert riding Muhammad. No halal, no benefits. There soon go. Yep. And as I always say, 63% of women and 40% of Muslim men all on benefits. That needs to be sorted out. I was reading earlier, someone had a £2 million home. I think it was in Hampton, and they got moved to a £1.3 million home. And they're Somalian, and they've been on benefits since 2008 when they came to this country. Like, how does that work? Nuria Khan explains Islam wonderfully well. Yeah, it probably just says, it's completely screwed up. It's backwards. It's the opposite. Like I said before, isn't it? Everything needs an opposite. Good, bad. Religion, Islam. Do you know what I mean? How you doing, Jake? Oh, can't see you. Hang on. There he is. Let me
I'm gonna try streaming this onto my own channel, Wiz. Say something like that.
Good luck.
Landscape, yeah. Make it public. Select category, God knows. I'll do news and politics.
Jake, is that the YT channel based in Manchester?
If he means Edge of the Matrix, yes, it is. He is based in Manchester.
Well, there you go. Happy days. Yeah, so I think 48% is a good start. Do you think?
I think a very good start, yes. In fact, I was just looking at some statistics earlier, and I found another one that's very similar, which is that 50% of them claim that they've felt persecuted in the last year as well.
No way.
I know. I feel so badly for them.
Imagine how many more of them would want to move out. How many more of them would want to move away from the United Kingdom when we ban halal meat and we start, making sure that they can't swear on the Quran in Parliament and stuff like that.
But that's not the most surprising statistic, though. There's another one that I was actually quite shocked by it. It was, I had a look to see how many Muslims felt British, and across several different surveys, it was about 80 to 90% said that they feel British. And I thought, what? How can that possibly be true? But no, apparently it is. According to the exact surveys. So give me a sec.
That's mental.
So Ipsos Mori for Channel 4, that said 86% feel a strong sense of belonging to Britain, and 90% said they feel loyalty to Britain. In the recent census as well, the majority of Muslims identified as British or British plus something else. And it seems across these surveys that roughly 8 to 9 in 10 Muslims are happy to call themselves British. Now, whether the British are happy to call them British as well, I find very much probably not to be the case.
Wow.
Probably
That's
not.
and then we've got here saying a new poll finds 48% of the Muslims living in Britain feel they don't belong,
That's
which is
far,
actually correct.
yeah, it is actually correct. They don't belong because their way of thinking is not in any way in line with our own thinking. I mean, even at the very most foundation level, their entire belief system rests on God and everything coming straight from God, whereas our system, that it comes from laws that we've put into place and that can be adapted over time.
Yes, but you try explaining that to someone who doesn't believe in Catholic, you know, on Catholic land, or someone who doesn't believe in Jesus, you know, then you would find that the Muslims do actually align with those. Obviously, I'm talking about the leftards, aren't I?
Yes.
You know, yes. And I've got a bit of homework for someone to do. I've tried all last night. I'm trying to get a video compilation together, right, of how Rupert Lowe might have heard about the 1689 Bill of Rights, the one where it says no person or prelate can be in Parliament, right? Which is completely legal, and I completely agree with, right? But we need to present this to that Advance UK guy, yeah, in the form of video, obviously, hopefully. But I just need to get a connection of between, because I've got Dynabane having a interview with Graeme Moore. I've got someone else having an interview with Graeme Moore, and I've also got Sargon of Aragon. I can't remember his name, but he's part of the what's the name of that podcast? Podcast of the Lotus Eaters, right?
Carl Benjamin.
I've got all them three. Carl Benjamin, that's him. Yeah, thank you. Now I've got him interviewing Rupert Lowe. So obviously he has got a, you know, he obviously speaks to Rupert Lowe, right? And I've got Bo and what's his name from the State of Politics doing all sorts of weird blurbs about chuffing Paul Thorpe and everybody, you know, basically hating on Advance UK. So I'm just looking for this other piece of proof because that Tim Power guy wanted proof of whatever I was talking about. It won't take hearsay and conjecture. So it's quite important that I find something to do with the 1689 Bill of Rights saying no person or prelate can you know stand in Parliament, and that being communicated to any one of Carl Benjamin's group, such as Tomlinson. Even Tomlinson might have even mentioned it. You know what I mean? In passing, yeah. It doesn't even have to be Graeme Moore that is talking to. It could be him talking. I'm fairly sure I've seen him talking about it, but I cannot find the clip. So if anybody can do that, that would be ideal. And then, you know, email me all the ways and say, yeah, I've managed to find something. Here you go, and post me a link. That'd be ideal. And everybody seems to have gone still since I've been talking. I've been occupying all the bandwidth.
And I did say earlier,
this is to unite the right. This is to unite the right, Wiz. You can't, what?
Have you all noticed?
It's blue.
Right.
See, that's what is annoying me, because on mine it's blue. I'd put this StreamYard up onto my screen above here, and it is purple, but it is actually purple. And
looks,
I've got a spare one, and I've got obviously my original black one. So blue. Look, I've got a blackhead, mate.
Everybody's still to me. I'm just looking at still pictures. There's only me moving on here.
Yeah, because we can't be bothered. I've literally just eaten a load of fish fingers, an omelette, and some vegetables. I ain't moving, and I've got a coffee.
You're moving now,
and it was a cheese omelette as well. So now. Jealous. Yeah, it is purple, Pat. It is purple. But even on this, it looks blue.
It looks blue to me. Oh, we're not going to start. We're not going to start with this again. No, you know what's pink and what's purple and what's magenta and what's blue.
That's purple. There's purple in the logos, you can see.
Yeah, it's blue and annoying because I put, like I say, I put it on my other screen. So I've got two screens and it shows purple. It's lovely. I'll bring it back down here. It's blue. Got a
I
Billy
said-
Blue hat.
Yeah, a guitar I had used to do that. It would look blue in some light and purple in others.
Psychedelic, mate. That might have been the drugs you took before you started like creating.
Oh,
Those
oh,
mushrooms.
Wait a minute.
I thought it's a violin at one
Didn't
point.
Defiant
Realised
Fox
it's an
might have-
electric guitar.
I tried to blow into it at one point. I thought
Defiant Fox might have actually pointed out the right reason why we keep
Blowing to a guitar.
Why we keep. Well, can anybody? Can you?
It's
hear
a
me?
wind instrument.
Can you
Part
hear
on
me?
it. It's a player.
1, 2.
Yeah, I can hear you. So I
Private.
got carried away with the air guitar. That's why I call it an air guitar. It's in the air. You blow on
Everybody's
it.
gone still on my end. I'll tell you what. I'm going to stop
that happens
showing
sometimes.
this on my feed because it's gone weird. I can't. It's really rubbish.
All that
So
adult
you want- how do
content
I
you're
stop that?
downloading, mate.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was just going to say.
What
But
colour is this, Wiz? What colour is that?
That looks like the same colour as this bloody microphone edge. It looks blue.
In that case, there's definitely something going on because this is purple.
Yeah, see? It
Lovely,
does that,
but-
and I'll put it up there. I need to sort my laptop out.
Yeah, it's just the
Because I'll
lighting.
put it on the screen. I'll take the whole of this, whatever it is, the screen. I'll whip it up to the screen above, and then it's purple.
Yeah,
So I think it might be something on here.
something to it.
Jake stopped moving to me. Everybody else was moving.
I
And
do.
I've just stopped. I've stopped streaming this.
But,
I've stopped streaming this to my channel as well, just see if that helped.
yeah, it might do because yeah. But what I did say, I said on an earlier stream, so I'm going to say it on this stream as well for those who missed it. You'll see on my YouTube page when you go and you can read about us or whatever it is. I've changed it. I've deleted interviews because trying to get people to be interviewed, I wanted to do at least one a week, and it ain't happening. And people are quite ignorant, to be honest. They don't even like respond or nothing. So I was like, do you know what? When I have people on, there'll be guests and we'll have a chat. So all
The
formal
response to me
interviews
was,
are
Probably
in
your
the bin.
aftershave.
But if I
Probably
can
your
get Rich
aftershave
and
'cause
Rogue
they're-
on, we'll have a casual chat. And, you know, I don't have to go all formal. We're not answering loads of questions. We just go with the flow and we're relaxed and we talk about whatever. And I think it'd be better because maybe, do you know what I mean? I don't want to go down all the like, let's get all formal route. I want it all nice, relaxed, chilled out and that. So we'll have guests on, but they won't be interviewed. It'd just be literally a guest and we're going to talk about whatever. And if say Rich and Rogue come on, Jake, and you said, oh, can I come up on screen? I'll be like, yeah, go on then. Why not? Because we're having a relaxed chat. So yeah, we can do that. Do you know what I mean? Or Richard, whoever. It's just I'm looking at you.
Yeah, they're great. I'm sure that they'll find a time where that can happen.
Jake, your
They did.
stream on my end, mate, is unresponsive. I can't hear a thing you're saying, mate.
Really?
Oh, it's fine. I can hear him.
What about in the
He's
chat?
trying-
Not me. Yeah, what's it like in chat? What am
I
what
can
are we
see
all
you, mate.
coming
You look
through
normal
like?
to me, but
Oh, that's
But
all right
Rich and
then.
Rogue
It's
said they're
just-
going to get back to me anyway. I did speak to them because I think I tagged them in one of the videos when we were talking about them. And I
Yeah.
said, oh, no, I'll tag you because we spoke about you. I'm not hiding anything and that.
Yeah.
So I need to get you on my channel. And she's like, oh, yeah, let us know. I said, that would be better if you let me know when you're available. And they said, yeah, we will. So hopefully they contact me. If another week or so goes past, I might send them an email and just say, but I want to say to them that we're talking a casual chat. We can talk about anything. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm not sitting there like Spanish Inquisition. Do you know what I mean? I'm not doing any of that.
Sure that they'd love to do that. You know, they've got plenty of issues to talk about, and they're always up for a laugh as well. So I'm sure that they'll appreciate
Yeah.
that format. And I can
Yeah.
understand
Plus,
from you know, as a content creator and trying to book these interviews, it must be really frustrating because people don't stick to things. They don't always respond. When they do respond, sometimes it's weeks later. And then you've got things like people rescheduling and postponing, and it can be really, really frustrating. So I can understand why you would go down this route.
yeah, I mean, if I could get an interview every week, it'd be good, but it's just not happening.
Yeah.
So, but to be honest, I didn't want to go down too much of the formal route anyway, because like, you know, whether it's right or wrong, I feel like even when I was talking to Nick Buckley and when I even talked to Paul Thorpe, to be honest, I'm a bit like, if this was in real life, these people wouldn't even talk to me. They would not entertain me. It might be the way I look, the way I talk. I just know it, you know. So to a degree, I do feel a bit out of my depth, especially talking to someone like Nick Buckley, who's an MBE. I mean, I've got a lot of respect for the bloke. And when he comes on, the first thing I'm saying is like, oh, I'm not as rough as I look. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like they're going to judge me or whatever. But, no, you know, so.
I've felt exactly the same myself when speaking to people. But you just have to convince yourself that actually they're just another person. They're not any better.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say in my head. I'm like, we're equal.
Yeah.
But I get it even with you, Jake. Like, one, you got doctor before your name. That makes me nervous. And two, you're very intelligent. The questions you ask, I'm like, well, that bloke, you know, if you're an English teacher, you're certainly like a better person in life than what I am. Do you know what I mean? So it makes me nervous even just having you on.
I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to. I can assure you I'm not anything special whatsoever.
It's not like...
I've just read a few books, like I said.
Excuse me.
Hello, Richard.
I've got Doc at the end.
Oh, you're back.
And I've just altered my I've just altered my camera settings, and you still sound like you're both talking into a chuffing spring echo unit.
There's something going wrong there. Then.
I'm in the belly of a kangaroo, mate.
Dr. Jake's got his finger in his tab like that, and it's constant. Yeah. Like that. It's not my internet connection, so it's brilliant. Oh, hold on. Make sure I've.
But we ain't got issues, so it must be your end.
Yeah. Well,
how you doing, Pouncy?
Oh, I found something for Pouncy. I thought he might like.
Try logging out and logging back in. Jake, try logging out and back in. Wiz, have you connected to your router, or have you connected onto your thingy one, your repeater? Are you connected on your repeater?
PSP.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's all good, mate.
PS Vita.
Oh, PS Vita. Oh.
I bet it's my cousin playing chuffing Minecraft again, exploding pixels and stuff that he's doing.
Yeah, that's right, Pat Rogan. He ghosted me. How dare he? Yeah, well, I don't know if anyone wants to talk about what was it called? Reform, walking out. That was a good one. Oh, Helen's in the house. How you doing, Helen? Oh,
Helen
in the
might
house.
know that I mentioned. Helen might know that one that I mentioned.
I mean, I think before talking about that, I thought it was really interesting today that after the questions, after Kemi's questions. I can't think what the guy's name is, but he looks like an alcoholic. He's got a bright red nose. And he said, and this is for the second week running, why doesn't he ever answer the questions? And was quite angry about it. And speaker said that he cannot force them to answer questions. He's only there to make sure that they give an answer to the question. He cannot say about the quality of it because that would make it political. So it's not just us who think he never answers the question.
Mental, absolutely mental.
And as for Reform walking out, well, I think that Starmer was out of order in the response that he gave. He completely lost it, I think.
Yes, he was. Yes.
And why shouldn't they walk out? They have every right to.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? It's sort of like, oh, can you answer me a question? What's 1 + 1? I'll tell you what, if these people carry on being racist, mate, I'll ask you,
14 years of Tory misrule.
Yeah.
Every answer.
And now that's
previous government.
That's literally what I was going to say then, but I thought I'll stop and let you say something. You said what I'm saying. That's what it is, isn't it? Like Labour, like, what's going on with this? Oh, well, you know, we're since the Conservatives, but what about that? That is so bad. Oh, well, you know, we're trying to clear up after the Conservatives. But I'll tell you what, though, these votes has been worse since Labour, isn't it? But it all started with the Conservatives. You're like, Jesus, mate. Really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So, yeah, you
don't care who started with. I care who finishes it.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. You know, it's got to be put to bed. But
I can't hear Jake at all. I can't hear Jake at all. Sorry. It's yeah.
I can.
I can't. Jake, can you? Can everybody
might
hear Jake?
be,
I know you can.
Yeah.
You need to close it all down, Electrodoc. Last time I actually literally close the window, close it all down, reboot it, and start again. I'd done that last time when my internet was going mental the other day. I was not impressed.
No,
but you're all right to me. It can't be you, Jake, because you're all right to me. Otherwise, I'd also be saying, "Oh, Jake, I'm struggling." Do you know what I mean? So, and I'm not. Yeah. So I don't think it is you. I think it might be his end.
Yeah, I think so too. And going back to Starmer, last week there were 6 questions that he was asked about Mandelson. Every single one he gave a complete deflection that had nothing to do with the question whatsoever. This week he did make more of an attempt to answer it, but still, after sort of alluding to it, he then went and spoke about something else, and it's not acceptable. It makes an absolute mockery of government, because what happens is his advisors will sit there that morning looking at what the latest things are that can be said. They'll put in a few barbs that they can throw at the other side, and then a few slogans that they put in there. He doesn't have anything to do with it. You can see he's got it in front of him, literally reading it out, and anyone could be there doing that. If you go back and look at previous prime ministers who were worth their salts, like Thatcher, they would speak without a script. Even in interviews that they did on television, they didn't have the questions beforehand like people today. It was all done off the cuff, and they spoke with passion because they believed in what they were doing. They were trying to make a difference in the way they thought was best, even if other people might not have agreed with it. And they actually had some integrity. This lot, like I say, they could be anyone stood there in front of Kemi Badenoch. It really doesn't matter. They're all the same.
Yep, I 100% agree. But I think the art of being a good politician is the art of avoiding questions. I mean, that's all it comes across as. That's why maybe people want to look at Restore and Advance UK as new options, and possibly even reform, because to be honest, I might be wrong, but even when it comes to Nigel Farage, if he gets asked a question, he answers it. Whereas this Labour or Conservative, the top two, it never seems to be the case. And that really, really does wind me up. So maybe it does other people. I don't know.
It's lying. That's what it is. Let's not beat about here. It is being fundamentally dishonest with the public repeatedly. And I think that people are actually now starting to think, well, this government doesn't actually represent anything anymore. It doesn't stand for me. It doesn't stand for anyone else. It doesn't look like what I want a government to look like. And I don't think it can really last too much longer if it goes on like that.
Yep, 100%.
But what's the alternative? That's the thing that people should worry about. It's all very well and good wanting to get rid of Starmer. We all do, but what would we get in replacement? Angela Rayner, probably. Would that be any better? I don't think it would.
No, because it's going to still be Labour with Labour principles or Labour doing whatever. So instead of people telling Keir Starmer, they're just going to be telling Angela Rayner it's going to be the same stuff. But the only difference is she's coming straight in on a £40,000, like, what was it, housing tax dodge. Do you know what I mean? So people go straight away like, why should we believe a word what you say? You literally defrauded the country.
That's a really good point, actually. If you think back to when he first got into power, one of the first things that happened was the expenses scandals over him having suits bought for him and glasses bought for him and all of this rubbish. And pretty much, I would say, every single month, possibly every single week, there seems to have been some other financial scandal associated with his government that is increasingly proving itself to be corrupt. And we've got to start calling it out for what it is, because it is corruption.
Yep, 100%.
It's not democracy. It's not what people voted for. It's not what people want. In fact, sometimes I wonder if these people even actually believe the bullshit that comes out of their mouths. And I don't think they do.
Yep, like what Pouncey says here, that 5 times. I remember that. How many times, like, people, prisoners were missing, wasn't it? And he avoided it. And then, like what Pat said, Sadiq Khan,
Yeah,
grooming gang, that was awful.
disgusting. I mean, that guy every time I look at him, I just want to punch him in the face. And I'm not even a violent person, but there's just something about him. Horrible person.
That makes you violent.
Yes, it does. It does.
I can hear everybody now. I've opened it in Chrome. I think Brave is throwing a protest at me because I've got that much ad block shit on there that it's just decided, wait a minute, no, if you're not watching any adverts, then you're not allowed to even live stream. So I'm going to have to reinstall Brave.
Yeah, I don't do it through Brave because I find that normally jumps when I'm doing stuff. I always open up the Microsoft Edge.
Didn't do till today. Didn't do till today. It was fine until today. Now it's properly throwing its toys out at pram, so...
Like 99% of natives. We're talking about like making things up. Here we go. Here's a stat. 99% of natives don't even want one Muslim who were never asked. You're probably not far out. I mean, I reckon that'd be at least 60-70%, maybe, by going what goes on at a guess.
And I think, in all seriousness, that nobody would really care if it were one family in the street in one town, or a few families in the cities. No one would bother, because you wouldn't notice that they were there. But once they get to a certain number and they start flocking together, that's when you start seeing the problems materialize.
Yep. And I've said numerous times, I don't like the fact like you get a terrorist attack and they're just sat there all quiet and let's pray to Allah. Hang on, what's going on here? You should be denouncing this. No, we're secretly for it.
That really pisses me off, because we always hear about, I spoke with community leaders. Well, who the fuck are the community leaders, and what have they got to do with anything anyway? Where are they when it comes to condemning grooming gangs and all of these bombs? Nowhere. I haven't seen anyone who is a notable Muslim ever come out and say anything against Islam. Never. And they won't, because it's completely their beliefs.
Yep. But I don't know what you're on about grooming gangs. There's no proof of that, mate. I don't know what you're on about. That's fake news, mate. That's fake news. That's
right. It is fake news. That's why there's now 9,000 being looked at.
I'm doing my impression of a Muslim. I'm feeling like I'm suffering, like you're winding me up and being Islamophobic, and I think I just don't like your attitude, and I'm going to have to take you to court.
Well, I reject the word Islamophobia. I don't recognise it, and so on those grounds, I don't think you can take me to court, because I don't believe in it.
The fact you said that, I'm having another heart attack. I'm done.
Oh God, I'm going to have to bring you back from the dead now.
How dare you say don't recognise Islamophobia? What's that all about? Come on, ladies and gents, let's stand up for the bloody Muslims.
From Mad Monkey Seeds is absolutely spot on. London is so safe, no crime, no drugs, no violence. That's what Sadiq Khan would like people to believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And seriously, who could honestly say about London? Even the people who live in the most expensive parts of London, I'm sure, wouldn't say that it was safe and actually mean it in this.
Well, me and my sister, we were staying in an hotel to fly from Heathrow Airport over to address over to Germany, and we went there. And my sister got out of the car because she had to refill it because it were a hire car thing. She had to refill it, and when she refilled it in Luton, right, that's where we're flying from, Luton Airport. When she refilled it in Luton, this dodgy looking brown guy came up to her and said, "Hello, sister," like this. You know what I mean? And she got into the car and she was pale. And I've just been given, and she's a lefty, and I'd just been given at lecture like all the way down to Luton, you know what I mean?
But they won't.
I've just seen.
They don't want to know.
No.
I clicked the wrong button and YouTube opened. The first thing that come up was live Reform UK local election tour. Join Nigel Farage and Zia Yusuf in West Sussex.
No talk.
Didn't know they had anything going. Not that I care, but I'm just saying it just popped up. I was like, oh, they're hard at work. Look, Muppets. But we've got no choice.
my doubts about reform and what they actually represent. I think that what they initially came out and said that they are now obviously moving away from, and I think that is going to lose them lots and lots of support. And I think in many ways what they are is they want to be somewhere between the Tories and where Restore is, but they're far closer to the Tories than they are anything else. Everything is just, they're just saying it, and they just contradict themselves. Like they say no remigration, and then Zia Youssef comes out and says that there will be.
Yeah, and the other guy, and all the other Labour defector, I think you were, and he's again this interview whereby, we want more people coming in on boats. And you just don't know,
And every time Layla Cunningham appears on anything these days, she's just become a liability because you never know what she's going to end up saying.
Yeah.
She's someone who I moaned earlier about people speaking from scripts, but when she goes off script,
it's dangerous.
I mean, it's just the language that she uses, like when she referred to Restore as neo-Nazis. I mean, there's no need for that language. It's inflammatory, it's divisive, and it's all the things that she accused Restore of being.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
But what do you reckon then, like, to the fact, like what we're saying about reform there, literally the next election, to get rid of Conservatives and Labour, it's like we said it, Richard said it and all that, going, right, we're going to have to vote reform to get rid of Conservative and Labour. But are we going to be sort of like duped into that? And then we vote reform, and like what you're saying, they are like Conservatives, so they'll probably be more of what we've already had, rather than be something brand new.
It depends on how many seats Restore have got in council, same as Jake mentioned the other day. It depends how many seats they've got in. I mean, if they've got no seats, or if they've got one seat, then you're not likely to win a general election with one seat. You're going to have the majority of, more than, preferably more than what Reform have got. You need those seats. They're councillors. So, you've got to have them sat in Parliament ready to be voted first past the post.
That's right. And what they also need is, and Fred the bodyguard was very good at pointing this out earlier, if anyone saw his video.
I did do just before I come on here, yeah.
He is exactly right in the way that the left organise themselves. And that they don't care about the divisions. They're just there to cause trouble against the right. Yeah. And you don't have that sense of unity on the right because it's because there's such an ideological split between Civ-Nats and F-Nats. It's a completely different place.
Yeah.
And the civic group does have more in common with the left than it does with the right.
Yeah, and Mr. Oakenfold as well, who Mo's had on his channel not long ago. Oakenfold, he's resigned from the college as well, saying that someone else is in charge, and I think I might actually know who that is. I might rather, So I'm going to start concentrating more on uniting both parties. I think.
I think that's probably.
I mean, I know it's boring, Wiz, but what I just mentioned there would help to unite the right. You see, just get someone.
Yeah, but first thing, Gio, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate you supporting the channel, and it all goes into my pocket, not Jake's or Richard's. So I love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm broke.
No, not really.
I'm broke. I've been in this pretty t-shirt for the last 2 days. I still ain't got any breakfast, darn it.
Done well, mate. But regards.
Oh, sorry.
Regards you, like if you're saying you want to bring what Advance and Restore together, is that what you're saying?
Or at least all the members, yeah. And I don't think we're going to be able
the members, but the parties. No, I can't see the parties now, but. I think all members, we should be all on the same page, really, because Advanced UK policies and Restores are very similar. Very similar.
And exactly, we all have the same but they won't because of what Graeme Moore keeps pushing. And actually, Graeme Moore is correct in what he's pushing. It's a legal thing. It's the Civil Rights Act 1689, and it says that no foreign person, i.e. Ben, right? Even though we believe there is English, not English, but British, right? And is a patriot, it doesn't matter. In the law that Restore Britain want to follow, Ben would not be allowed to be any kind of prime minister or have any kind of power within Parliament because of this.
He's half English, isn't he?
Sorry?
He's half English, isn't he?
Yeah, but it don't matter. It's both. This is what Graeme Moore keep pushing, you see. It's both.
Would he also apply it to Tommy Robinson, who's half Irish?
No, because that's part of UK, I think, anyway.
But again, that's like I said. I think I said to you, Jake, last time. Like
it's completely
yeah, it was you
bonkers.
actually. You said you're 92%.
Yes,
is it
that's
not?
right.
Yeah. So again, if you're 50-50 or 51-49, as soon as you hit 50% and up, then you should be classed like that's it. That's fine because your DNA, DNA doesn't lie. So if you want to go down that route, you're going to have to turn around and say like, you know, if you're 48% something, 46% something, and then the last few percent's all this and everything else, whatever that 48% is, that's what you are most of. So you should say, if that was, you know, British DNA, then I am 48% English. I am English because I'm only 46% Italian.
Yeah. But let's suppose that somebody has come here who is a foreigner and they marry somebody who's English, then obviously their children would be 50% of each. But then that decreases through each generation. So if that person stayed in England, then eventually their entire family would become completely English, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I understand that.
But
yeah,
that is what true assimilation is. And that's why when people say that they're an ethnat, that's why I would disagree with it. Because really, that window there where there's that sort of partial mix, that only lasts for about 150 to 200 years, and then it's gone. You've completely assimilated. What is a much better way to look at it is to look at it as a cultural and ancestral inheritance, because that's what the culture actually is, and it's linked to geography as well.
Yeah, so you've got to remember. You've got to remember that the Civil Rights Act was written in 1689. Yeah, and so obviously it does need a bit of revision. Yeah. For instance, why can't we have a patriot like Ben Habib within the party? And I think, same as I say, I need a little bit more proof that Graeme Moore has managed to get the whisper into Rupert Lowe's ear. This thing about it needs to be 100%. Well, it needs to be, you know, both parents need to be English before someone can stand in Parliament. I mean, absolutely. Throw that guy out who said that he wants an airport in Pakistan. Yeah, throw him out. I mean, what's that got to do with England? You know what I mean? But Ben Habib, unfortunately, they're not going to see it this way. And you've got 120,000 members, or however many it is. 120,000, isn't it? That their member count in Restore, it's 120,000, and most of those are either unaware of this particular rule or unaware of this particular rule.
Maybe I'm wrong thinking this. Maybe I've got it wrong here. Maybe you can correct me. Am I right in thinking though that he's 50% English, 50% Pakistani?
Yeah.
But for some reason, the 50% Pakistani seems to be outweighing the 50% English. Nobody seems to be talking much about that 50% English part.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you bring up the point of Ben Habib identifying as English, then you would be instantly left off the stage of Restore.
You're British.
Yeah, it's British, but Ben Habib has been saying I'm English. Yeah, and that's ruffled feathers within the Restore party.
But if he's 50% English, then he's not wrong.
No, he's identifying as English.
But
if he's 50%, he's right.
Yeah, his man were English. I get you. Yeah, I get you.
If he were half French,
would
that make a difference?
Well, he'd be half French and half. I still think it's British. But this isn't my way of thinking anyway. This is how they think in Restore. Do you know what I mean? This is their idea in Restore. I think Ben's fine however he wants to identify. Because he's a patriot. He's patriotic. You know what I mean? I don't.
There's an anomaly in the regard of the fact that he's claiming that he's English with a legitimate claim, unlike Shabana Mahmood, but he does have a legitimate claim. The anomaly is that obviously he's not white, whereas traditionally English people are white. But
he isn't Muslim. He isn't Muslim. He's Christian. He's not Muslim. He's Christian.
He is.
Yeah.
And if he were half American, for example, it would make no difference whatsoever. People would accept him as English if he spoke with an English accent.
Yeah. This is how ridiculous it's got. This is exactly how ridiculous it's got, and it's sickening, really.
That is ridiculous. It also does go against the British values of everybody being equal under the law, because he should be treated as equal if he's half English.
But I don't know when that everybody should be equal within the law. I don't know when that law was actually passed. I think that might have been something to do with Tony Blair back in his era, because he replaced that and put that in, you see, so as it would override the Civil Rights Act. But you can't override the Civil Rights Act, because that was the last time that we kicked off against how our country were being, run.
I do understand the principle, though, that when we think of English leaders, we don't think of people who are brown-skinned and who have Asian-sounding names. That isn't English. So that I completely accept that.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't judge him in that way. I mean, didn't he say in an interview that he's got 2 children and one's white and one is brown?
I don't know. Can't remember.
Sure,
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, so Graeme Moore, whenever he's doing, these podcasts or something with the ones who hate Paul Thorpe now, or anybody to do with Advance UK, like Dynabane, when he were on there, he were actually doing Ben's name as it's actually spelled, as in Ben Hiamin. He were doing it like that, not saying Ben. He were doing his full name and reading it out to people, so as it got more feathers ruffled. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I think that people should think about more carefully is, people who say that they're on the right, is to look at the other side and not in any way downplay the possibility that a Labour and Green alliance will be a very potent force when it comes to the next election. And if people are too fighting on the right, then that's not going to help them whatsoever. What they need to do is think about what it is that they want this country to be and who they want it to be for, I think.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
And you're not going to agree when it comes to remigration, because it's too polarizing. There are 2 extremes that are never going to see the same way. So what would be a compromise? Well, a compromise would be where you agree that illegals all are instantly deported. I think both sides would agree that.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Ellen once again, because I don't think she were here at the beginning of the stream, but she watches about as much YouTube as what I do, which is 13 hours a day, right? Oh, wow. Plus I've got a good memory. So everything sticks. This is why I've been able to go through all the different podcasts and stuff that I've seen. I've got a massive list, right? All these different podcasts, but what I'm looking for, Helen Crystals, is I'm looking for a link between how Graeme Moore may have got whispered into Rupert Lowe's ear about the law, about the common law about 1689, the one where it says no person or foreign person is able to stand in Parliament, because I'm guessing that this is where Rupert Lowe is rejecting Ben Habib. And to unite the right, I think we need a different leader of Advance UK. So at least they're then looking. It's ridiculous to say, but a white man.
There is one way.
You've got to think about it this way as well, right? I mean, I was told by Tim Power that Ben Habib, he said, well, I knew what was said in that conversation between Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe, like. But how can Rupert Lowe say to Ben Habib, I don't want you in because you're Pakistani, right? How can he say that? In today's woke world, he can't say that, can he?
But we can solve this easily, though, simply by introducing an English passport and alongside the British passport. And in the case of Ben Habib, he'd have to choose then whether he was British or English or Pakistani.
But yeah, but that
he could be given a British passport, which would be different.
Yeah, but that'd require a different government that's willing to look at the 1689, because this has all been completely erased from education. I don't even know whether you know about the 1689 Bill of Rights, do you? Were you taught about that at college? No, exactly, and it's very important.
I know.
And this is, yeah, you know of it, yeah. So same as I say, I've got all these clips, but all I'm looking for is some kind of clip that ties anybody in the what's it called? Sargonavarian is Lotus Eaters. I'm looking for something that ties Lotus Eaters in with Graeme Moore, right? If I can get that tie together, then I think that's going to raise suspicions even more.
Yeah, I'm Ellen on Mr. Moore. Yes, he knows a lot about what he's done and what the things that he studied, but I don't think that he fully grasps all of it. I don't think he always tells the entire truth. That he doesn't say when things have been amended, and I don't think that he is quite the brain that he makes himself out to be. He's very good at remembering things, not necessarily interpreting them, and really, that for me, he gave himself away when he pronounced the word as ethnonat when everyone knows.
Yeah, that might have been. I don't know. I'll put that down to his accent,
But he comes across as somebody who obviously has read these things. He knows what he's talking about. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, but that it's just
But I think that if we had an English passport and the associated other ones for the other home nations too, then we'd be able to have the identity of the English actually enshrined in law, something that it's never been, because we are unique in that we have that, that we're an amalgamation of several nations as Britain, and that's a separate national identity. That's very, very unusual. And I think that if somebody is an immigrant or has gained British status, they get a British passport. But people who were born and bred here, then they can get an English passport. There's no difference in the rights that they have. It's just a way of distinguishing ethnicity and making this clear, because at the moment there's just so much confusion about it and it's causing so much division. This, I think, would solve that problem. It'd be really easy to do, and it's not going to affect anyone or cause riots on the streets.
Yeah. I mean, people are saying, even Ellen's saying, he's done time served for fraud. But I mean, you can't take away from the fact that he managed to win a very important court case not long ago, one that Andy the Cabby was following. He managed to win that. I don't know exactly what it was, but he managed to win that, and it was a very important one. And it was all based on the Civil Rights Act 1689.
It sounds a bit like a lot of that sovereign citizen bollocks.
Yeah. I don't mean, yeah. Well, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, where people reject our laws and say, no, we're sovereign citizens. We only respond to the Magna Carta or things like that.
Yeah, but it is a law that's still prevalent even on the Gov website. It's still written on there.
I want to look it up right now and see what it says.
Yeah, well, I've actually got it in video format where I've got me AI voice reading it out, and it needs to be the certain one. It's if you do something like what does the 1689 Civil Rights Act say about Parliament, that seems to narrow it down, because it is quite a big.
Christ, it's not much of a fun read.
Yeah. There are, if you do it like that, it'll just say no person or prelate or no foreign person or prelate are allowed to stand in UK government Parliament.
I can't see it, but I'd have to read through it. It's not written in a very, very friendly way.
Let me, if I can present this, Wiz. If that's all right, I don't need to just minimize my screen a bit. If I can present this, don't worry, it's going to be going through VLC player, so there's no oddities there, right? That's VLC. Hold on, right, and then if I pause that, right, yeah. So here you go. Oh no, I can't. Hold on. Oh, that's not the right one. That's double click that. That's it. I'll get there in a bit. Hold on, double. Right, that's Bill of Rights there. Got that much chuffing stuff on, right, and then StreamYard. Right, so I will present this and then share screen, and then I'll say same screen as you, share audio. Yeah, look to share it. Yep. Okay, so screen. I want to share also that a window, which is VLC. It's that one. Right. Let me know when you can see that. It looks like a directory's on, but it isn't. I don't think. Oh, hold on. I want to do that one. It's not going to work. Oh, bugger. Don't work. Hold on, let me stop that one. Right. Can you hear that?
No.
Nope.
Can you hear this?
No.
You can't see it either.
Nothing,
right. Hold on. Bear with. Right. If I keep
no,
that
you've taken
open.
it down, so it's got to be on screen to be heard.
I know, yeah, it's all right. It's because VLC had to be maximized so as I could see my controls for VLC. So I'll try again. Share screen, and then it should tell me my VLC screen. Right. Share screen, not that one. A window, yes. Bill of Rights there, and StreamYard, yeah. Read aloud, is that? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, that's better. Right, yeah. Okay, you ready? You got it on screen?
Yeah. Can you zoom in on it or anything? Or?
No.
I can actually zoom in on my screen.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
No.
What do you mean you
didn't hear nothing, no. We didn't hear it, but we read it.
You read it. You read it.
Read
Yeah.
it. Frogstar, mate. We read it.
I don't know why audio didn't come through on it because it's weird. You've got to do.
Pat, that's hilarious.
You know.
It
Yeah.
is still,
End up with 6 fingers. Pakistani look with 6 fingers. There's a channel over the remote.
it's still in. It is,
So yes, that was a Bill of Rights, which is the one that Graeme Moore keeps pushing, yeah, and it's going all over the Restore Britain side of supporters, being bloody all on them, state of politics, going all over them, getting them all interviews and reading that out and then saying, "Oh, Benjamin, yeah, on them." Or whatever, to make it sound like he's more foreign than what he is.
well, the Bill of Rights does only apply to England and Wales, though. It's worth mentioning that.
Okay, fair enough. So
I haven't read enough of what it actually says, what rights we have to be able to really say much about it. I was just having a look at a summary then. But I don't. From what I can gather, it's not exactly like a bullet point list of these are all the rights that you've got. It doesn't work in that way.
Yes, well, that was the AI generated thing. I mean, obviously, it's got photographs of the actual parchments where it's written, but there's that many of them. I need to have concentration power to go through them all. But that's on the government site, so that's obviously legit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah.
Just saw the picture with my own eyes, so I can attest that it exists.
I would not sell you a lie, mate. I would not sell you a lie.
No, I know.
How about that then? That's no, because he's still 50-50, regardless of DNA. So it doesn't matter where he's born. If it's 50-50, you're going to have to pick one as the dominant. So if you choose to be Pakistani or choose to be English, then that's the way it goes.
he chooses to be British. He chooses to be a Christian. I can't see the issue. Obviously, it's something else that's just shoved in there.
But this is how bad it is.
You know what I mean?
But this is how bad it is, because I assume Chirac's going to be like a Rupert Lowe. He's trying to give him one from behind or something. But he posts a lot of crap up and a lot of lies about advanced folding and this and that, because his opinion is better than facts. Everyone's got to bow to Chirac. But this is bollocks, absolute bollocks. I mean, you can talk out your ass. You're going to have to stand up so I can hear it if you sat down, because obviously it'd be all muffled, wouldn't it? But just because someone's born somewhere, if it's 50-50 and you want to go down the DNA route, then you've got to pick one, because it's 50-50. It's equal. I mean, don't matter where you're born, how many years.
I am not a civnat, so don't refer to people as divnats. I am not a civnat. I never have been. I rejected. I'm a cultural communitarian, thank you very much. And that description there doesn't consider that whatsoever, because if somebody is from a completely different country and a completely different culture, they are brought up here from birth in an English culture and are English in every single way, then does that make them English, or is it their ancestry and the culture combined, or is there a separation? I don't think it's as clear as just saying it is simply down to their ancestry.
But Graeme Moore, who's got a very big, presence on the internet. I think everybody there, Graeme Moore, has got a very big presence on the internet. He would argue the opposite. You know what I mean? Even though it's sickening. It's sickening. You know what I mean? So what do we do about it? You know, how do we join forces with Restore? Bearing in mind, of course, only 80% of people, in real life get their news from the internet.
Well, I think what we should remember is that this whole idea of civic nationalism really is a post-World War II idea. And it's in England, it's specifically an idea that came in the early 2000s from Blair, when he introduced the new British values of tolerance and diversity. Up until that point, for thousands and thousands of years, British culture had been exactly what I was just saying. It is culture, tradition, language, place, and ancestry. All those things were what made somebody British or English. It was never, ever in dispute. When we had the greatest empire the world has ever seen, no one ever needed to say what English was, because British was just supreme. We didn't need to have a document. But because of the massive fuck up that these governments have made since the 1960s, and let's be honest about this, in polluting every society across Europe and America with undesirables, it's led, unfortunately, in this country, because of the stupid system that we've got with nationalities, it has led to a need to have the English recognised for what they are.
Yeah. I mean, back to my previous point and all about the woke PC, political correctness. So I think that might be hindering Rupert Lowe from telling Ben exactly why he doesn't want him in the party. Do you get me? He's hardly likely to turn around to him and say, because you're half Pakistani, I can't let you into such a party that's wanting to restore the historic values of what we used to stand for. You know what I mean?
And I think to an extent he's got every right to say that. I mean, I see people like that horrible woman footballer, Eni Aluko. You see her saying, she's played for England. I'll be the first to say she's not English.
Yeah.
Because
no, she's Klingon.
Yeah, she is. She's got a bigger, higher forehead than I have.
Yeah, she even does plats, doesn't she? Looks like proper Klingon.
Bill says that his parents are Jamaican, so you're Jamaican, but by default, for being born here, you could be classed as British because you were born Jamaican in one of said countries. So so you are by definition British Jamaican or Jamaican British, whichever way you want to say it. But your parents are Jamaican. If they're both Jamaican, your DNA is Jamaican, but you were born in one of the England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. So.
And also, most Englishmen would actually sit in a circle with you and participate on the smoke of your blunt. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, if both his parents are Jamaican, then he's Jamaican. But culturally English, I would say
British.
Yeah,
not English, but British.
Well, it could be. I suppose culturally, yes, I think you could argue both, because English is a different culture to British. I don't think.
I think it's supposed to mean of England. England.
But
So
yeah, but where
England.
he's born in, like, if you're born in England but your parents are Jamaican, then you can be British because genetically you are Jamaican. You can't be English because you're Jamaican. Your parents are Jamaican. Just because you're born here doesn't make you English. You are now British and entitled to a British passport because you were born here. But
and that is the distinction.
Crash, and DNA'd it, you're Jamaican. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, your distinction is exactly right there. In that British is a nationality; it's not an ethnicity, and that's why I really think that we need to have the English ethnicity recognised. I mean, even if it's not as a passport, at least it needs to be recognised in law.
Yeah. I don't know what my passport says on it, actually. Oh, I think mine says British passport, but I'm English.
I think
it says out of date.
It is out of date. This one's out of date, yeah. What have we got?
Who's tapping their mic? Oh, do you know, I thought I heard something as well, Plum Jacks. It's like boom, boom, boom.
European Union, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
You can cross the European Union bit out. Thank you very much.
It's a very old one. It's still purple. I've got a new one now. It's black. I don't know what that one says. That's miles away.
Yeah, I've got those.
Yeah. Oh, it's got British citizen.
When the reason that English is so important, and I think some people in the chat are alluding to this, is, and I've mentioned this before, is that yes, it's true that England, the country, begins in the 9th century when the kingdoms.
How handsome I used to be.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, look at that, eh? No wonder I was pulling up birds back then. Sorry, Pat. Sorry, Pat. Sorry, Jake, what were you saying?
Well, but England does start in the 9th century. That's when the kingdoms united to first form the land of the Angles and officially call it a nation. But that doesn't mean that the people didn't exist before that, because they obviously did, and they were here for thousands of years before that. So our cultural continuity has lasted for an extremely long time. And I mentioned last time how there was the ancient spring equinox festival for Ostara, that is also called a form that today we would say is Easter, which was then, as I mentioned, added on top of Christianity. So our culture is much, much older than even using just the word English will allow it, because ancient Britons came before that, and they very much are part of the English DNA and genetic fabric.
Yeah.
It's not like they just suddenly appeared in the 9th century, or it's not like they were replaced by all the Anglo-Saxons and Vikings. They weren't. There weren't that many who came over.
No.
And in fact, the Anglo-Saxons only came here because we invited them once the Romans had gone. Fed up with people coming over and invading, so we said, come and look after us. And once they did, they started then getting land. I don't know if this sounds familiar. They then started bringing their religion with them. They then started to, you can guess where I'm going with that. But they brought with them laws.
I'm still laughing.
Sorry, a Brit Macon.
Brit Macon, who's Jamaican, but to be fair, Michael, Peace Para, he's right. He's actually put in there saying displaced African, because Jamaican is not an ethnic group.
Yeah, so, that's right.
Fair, he's right.
Right. So why didn't he use the first part of his ethnicity, as in Jamaican, right? And then add jam to Britain, so he's got Jamaine. Like
or
Bob Morley. We're jamming, we're Jamaine, we're Jamaine.
I think he could argue that he's Jamtrish.
How did Bob Marley like his sandwiches? With jamming?
Yes, indeed. Cracker Jack jokes again. Anyway.
But it's really shameful, though, I think, that the way that our country has been allowed to fester in mediocrity the way that it is, and how we're getting completely fucked over by people that don't have anything in common with us, don't have our best interests at heart, and don't even want us to be here.
Yeah. But then when our foreign person such as Ben Habib comes up and steps up to the plate, you know what I mean, and he's fully integrated, and also we've got used to integrating with Jamaicans, Sikhs, etc., right, all of them, right? Then when he steps up to the plate, is then said no because of your ethnicity, because they're wanting to go back to before when we didn't have these laws in, when we did have these laws in, you know what I mean? But now we've kind of, what's it called? Culturalized, we've gelled with them kind of people, but it's the ones that are trying to change our laws and stuff like that we're not gelling with.
See, the problem I have with the CIVNAT route is that really it's saying that everything and everybody is completely equal, and that someone, no matter where they're from, can come here and be given a piece of paper that says they're British. And no, that doesn't work for me on any level whatsoever. If you're going to be part of a culture or part of a society, you should earn your place there first of all, and that should be contribution, and it should be through your actions, and it should be in integrating yourself as much as you can within that community. If people can do that, and I've seen plenty of people who can, then you're welcome to be part of our community. But that number of people that we're allowing in should be kept to a minimum, so that really we keep to the people whose ancestry is here. And the reason I would say that is because it offers a cultural continuity, and people are much more open and friendly and caring towards people who look and act like them than they are of outsiders.
Yeah.
CIVNATs, ultimately, if everything is all the same, then there can't be a dominant culture that rules over them. So it really means nothing. Yeah.
What Pouncey's put there, look, what about the Muslims MPs now? Yeah, exactly. They weren't welcome into they were welcome into Houses of Parliament, but they're the type of people that we're talking about.
Yeah.
The 1689 Bill of Rights used to protect us against. Yeah. But now it's being used to protect it. Well, protected us from Ben. Which is just on its head, isn't it? Then again, we live in a topsy-turvy world, so why not? You know what I mean? It's obviously a topsy-turvy chuffing idea. Yeah.
I think he's just put that Ben says he's a British Pakistani, he's not English, and that he says so himself. And that's something that I know Rupert's spoken about not wanting dual nationality. And I agree. We shouldn't have dual nationalities. You have English identity or you have a British identity. Cannot be British something.
No, I'm fairly sure. I'm fairly sure from
it's you, Jake. You're banging your desk.
Just then I went like that. Sorry.
Guilty, Your Honour. Guilty.
Asserting his authority. I forgot what I was saying.
Ben is Britistani.
So Ben was doing podcasts and stuff, and he was saying I'm English, and then he was going on about Anna Akira as well, being English. You know what I mean? Which
ICL.
which obviously ruffled feathers in, in Restore supporters.
But I think we've got to remember here that British citizenship actually means something. It's not something that you can just give out to anyone and throw it around like confetti. It's something that should be meaningful, it should be earned, and it should be something that people are proud of and want to buy into. They're not just coming here to take, which is what is happening at the moment. And I don't understand why the government is not doing anything about that, because they obviously know it's pissing people off. They know it's costing a fortune.
Yeah.
But they've hampered themselves by choosing to follow this path of civic nationalism, and also by trying to follow the path of human rights law, where everybody's treated as a universal sort of blank citizen.
Yeah.
And they completely underestimated history, culture, and heritage.
Yeah. Indeed. Doodly day.
But how do we get together is what Up the Cherries has asked.
What?
So what can we do then? What would bring people together? What would unite all of these disparate factions on the right or the
Well,
centre.
we really need
An
to
orgy,
know
a
what-
whopping great orgy.
what is Rupert's issue? What doesn't he like about the party? All we can do is just guess and then put ideas forward. But I know that Phil, what's his name? Tim Powers, the guy who I talked to. I know that he wants facts. He's not just going to listen to people on the internet. Did you listen to that video that I sent you, Wiz? You did. Good lad. Right. So you managed to watch that, and you understand where I'm coming from when he said to me, I'm not just going to listen to people on the internet. I need to know facts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Everyone's got an opinion. It's like listening to that Chrissy again, isn't it?
Exactly.
All opinions. Like, what's the fact though?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you've all got imaginary friends because you've got God in your books are pretty shit.
Indeed.
I've never read the book.
Indeed.
I've never read the Torah.
Obviously,
it's crap.
It doesn't want the party bogging down with people just with random ideas. This is why I wanted to try and get anyone with any kind of proof that that anyone with relationships to Carl Benjamin, who interviewed Rupert Lowe, anyone with any information that he might have cottoned on to the 1689 Bill of Rights thing, because to be honest, that were in the back of my mind all the time. Even when Advance UK launched, I had this 1689 Bill of Rights in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to upset the apple cart of Ben. But sure enough, I think it's coming forward now, and I think it's being talked to within Restore, and that could be, I mean, I'm only going to Scooby Clue, but yeah, what's what we're in. But yeah.
Yeah, I personally, I couldn't give two fucks what colour somebody's skin is. I've had relationships with Indian women and black women. Only one. Yeah, I don't find black women very attractive.
Right.
Not many white people do.
Okay.
And I was in a relationship for years with an Italian woman. So it's not an aversion to foreigners. That's what I'm getting at. That's if I don't feel like that, but I also don't feel that somebody should have the right to just come in and call themselves British or English without having earned it.
Yeah, especially not rubber stamped like what Labour have done just recently. You're just rubber stamping all these boat people, aren't they? It's just ridiculous.
Exactly. You can't just come into something like this.
And then, of course, they're allowed to vote. Gorton and Denton. Wow.
And I don't think that our society has ever been anywhere near perfect, but I think it's a lot better than these shithole third world countries that these people are coming from and bringing their ways here instead of adapting into ours. And I was absolutely appalled when, I can't think who it was, but some politician last week said that integration is a two-way process. No, it fucking well is not. It's a one process. Always has, always will be.
Yeah. But I mean, getting the whole of Advance UK's party into Restore Britain, I think would help us out. You know what I mean? But we need to know. We've got questions to be asked, really, and fears to be allayed as to what's wrong. I mean, we still didn't know 3 weeks ago. We're still guessing and umming and ahhing. I'm just trying to go through internet and trying to find different bits and bobs, but even those bits and bobs at the moment are just pointing towards like what I mentioned earlier about podcast of the Lotus Eaters, all their members who were picking on Paul Thorpe and that just for supporting Restore, just for supporting Advance UK.
Yeah, what was all that? Because I'd never heard of these people until recently. So when I saw it, I thought, who are these? Why are they? Why are they fighting each other?
So and also I managed to find the clip where who they are from what is it, the State of Politics, Bo and the other guy,
Dumb and Dumb.
I actually managed to find the clip where they call in Baraka Omari and Base and Bougie, where they call them out, and honestly, it's sick. You know what I mean? I don't want to be anything to do with them. It was obviously a racist slur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because those two also appear on Carl Benjamin's podcast of the Lotus Eaters, right? And Ben and also Carl Benjamin had an interview with Rupert Lowe. I've got all these video clips all lined up so I can put them all together, right? Then is this the way that Carl Benjamin is thinking? They're all of the same ilk. Well, they're not the same ilk. No, I'm not saying that, because Bo and whatever his other name was, they were both doing it on a separate podcast. Do you know what I mean?
I think the key difference is that this doesn't really feature prominently, but it's always there, is that racism really is about saying that other races are inferior to your own, and that your race is the superior race. And it's that sort of implicit thing that's in there that is the disturbing aspect when it comes to racism. But my personal opinion on racism is shut the fuck up about it. We very rarely ever see or hear it in this country. But the only place you'll ever see it or hear it is at a football match, where I think it's perfectly acceptable to use it, because that's what you do at football matches, is hurl abuse at people. And I think that today it's more notable for how rare it is rather than how it's prevalent. And I'm sick and tired of people using it as an excuse for things when really it doesn't actually exist.
Yeah. Just highlight Ellen's there, Wiz. Ellen's there, what's that say? Just highlight him. It's just going off screen now. From what Rupert said. A swastika. Well done. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
mixing chickens.
Yeah, what's that
but
saying?
Also, they're supposed to be passing something or discussing the fact that because of what Green's done, is like their stupid Urdu advertisement, like for their party in Christian Britain. Apparently, they're looking at, are they banning that or want to ban it, or you have to do all anything to do with your party has to be in English.
Yeah.
It should be in English. I don't want to see anything to do with government written in any other language. I don't want to see any other language on street signs, on train stations, on tube stations, anywhere. This is the national language is English.
Agreed. Very much, yes.
Definitely. Yeah, I was shocked when they done it in Urdu. It wound me up, to be fair.
It really wound me up. I actually wanted to get, I had my vape, I wanted to throw it at the screen.
Yeah, I think I called it out as and when it was done as well. But when it was done, I was just like, what on earth is this? Like, literally, Urdu. Like, what are you doing? It's disgraceful. And that proves beyond reasonable doubt that these people refuse to actually assimilate and accept our language and our culture because they're not spoken to in their native tongue.
Exactly. And I'll also add in, as Gio has mentioned something linked to this, that Islam isn't a race. The problem is, though, that it is treated as a race by English law. And that distinction isn't made between that in English law. So it gets treated as a race and gets the privilege of race, even though it actually isn't one.
Yeah, Islam might very well not be a race, but it is a political movement as well, which is basically how you govern people.
Yeah, and it's
in a certain country. So that's kind of a race, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not racist to think that.
I mean, I used to live in North Wales because that's where I did my degree, and in Bangor, the street signs have the Welsh first and the English underneath. Although if you go to South Wales, it's the other way around. But up there, it's Welsh first. And on every street sign, someone had gone along and spray painted over the English, so it just had the Welsh. And I understood why they did that. I respected why they did that, and I thought good on them for doing it.
Yeah.
No, these things are important, and the language was banned by the English for centuries, and thanks largely to Bangor University, it was brought back and is now being taught.
I was looking at that quite blindly. You know, the street signs and stuff like that. I was looking at that quite blindly without thinking about that. You know. Mind you, no. In the back of my mind, I did think maybe they're proud of the language, but I mean, who speaks Welsh nowadays? Is it that many? Hey?
Up in North Wales around Bangor, Welsh is the first language.
Oh, right, I see. Okay, because all I saw it as were just more waste of money from the council.
Yeah. Well, I think
You know,
a lot of people do see it in that way.
yeah.
I think it's only in North and a bit in Central Wales where Welsh is the first language.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, Grace has said
I'm
on
trying
here
to work out.
changed to put Welsh
So-
first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's Wales, it should be, shouldn't it? Completely ignorant statement. Is that the one you made before that, which is how can a white man say racism does not exist? Because no one said racism doesn't exist.
No,
Straw
I didn't say
manning, gaslighting, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So,
And besides, isn't it
um,
racist to say that a white man in that context? Why does it matter what colour someone's skin is?
Yeah, that's what it's all about,
Yeah.
isn't it? Racism. Don't matter from whichever side. You know, I mean, there's such thing as black racists and black racist grifters. In fact, Matt Walsh actually, I highlighted them on his Am I Racist?
I don't think anyone could ever say in any sincerity that racism doesn't exist. It clearly does in every single society and has done throughout history.
It exists because people have conversations about it. Plus, Islam isn't a race. You know? Yeah.
But I think at the moment that we're in a period of great transition. And I think it's because what we've got is the total system, the establishment that we have is failing. Yeah. And it's noticeably failing and it's crumbling in front of us. And it's an opportunity that is there over the next few years to say, look, we tried this and it didn't work. We got it wrong. We need to admit we got it wrong. We need to actually change direction, do something about it, and not reset the system, but completely redesign it and do it in a much better way.
Well, hopefully everybody doesn't think, you know, well, we tried capitalism, that didn't work, so now let's try communism.
Well, I mean, some people is. I wouldn't say that it is. It's definitely capitalist.
Yeah.
The communism is just an absolute failure of an idea. It's never worked wherever it's tried, and it's just resulted in millions getting murdered.
Yeah, I like to go downtown and smell washed people.
Yeah, so I understand what Grace is saying there about the language.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
But they definitely around Bangor have Welsh as their first language, because I used to work in the record shop there and people would phone up all the time and I couldn't understand a thing they said, and they wouldn't speak to me in English.
Yeah. Oh, slightly racist. Very racist then.
No, having said that, when I handed the phone over to the other staff who were all Welsh, they all said they didn't know what the people were speaking either, and it was some hillbilly dialect from up in the mountains.
Sound a bit like me, but in Welsh. But
maybe.
Yeah.
But if you go back to capitalism, nobody can argue that capitalism has been a failure. Capitalism has brought people out of poverty. You know, capitalism has genuinely improved people's lives in the way that communism hasn't.
Yeah. Well, at least with capitalism, you know, you're able, if you work hard enough, you're able to make your own money and stuff. And
in theory.
But now the capitalism on the top, all the people that tax you, they're the ones making the money out of your tax.
Yes.
And corruption. You know what I mean? Which is exactly the same as our communism. It kind of ends up. You know what I mean? The man at the top makes all the money, like Putin. I don't think there's many people in Russia that's richer than Putin, is there? You know, even his oligarchs think he's the top oligarch of Russia. Yeah.
It's.
But there are people in America that are richer than Trump, such as Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. You know,
should people be allowed to be that rich, though?
Well, I think that, there you go. It does need a bit of a reform, doesn't it? That I don't mean vote for reform, but it does need.
I do feel that people don't need. Nobody needs to be a billionaire. It doesn't benefit.
Maybe once you go over. Yeah, once you've gone over, you know, enough to live off for the rest of your life, kind of thing. I think then, you know, you ought to start adding tax on them. A percentage of tax that you need to take off. So then they're more incentivized to not go over that particular cap that you set for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that in an ideal world, that would be great. But of course,
then
when it comes to implementing it, it's not going to happen.
And then I'm back down to your employees, such as Jeff Bezos. Why should he have a massive yacht? Well, it should have a massive yacht because he worked hard for it, right? But Once you get to the point whereby you've got that much shuffling free money that you don't know what to do with it, then hand that to your employees, such as delivery drivers who are having to piss in chuffing bottles because they've got that much of
a world. That would be great. We have seen things like this. We had the Cadbury family. They built a town or a village or whatever it was and provided everything for it, for the workers to give them a good standard of living. Yeah. And that's what people at Amazon should be doing. They should be investing in housing.
Yeah, and look at pits. When pits, they used to build pit houses. You've got villages that are full of pit houses just so folks will work at the pit, So, yeah.
You see, that's something that I'm really unfamiliar with because we don't have any of that around here. So,
these are all pit houses.
Community.
This is a council house, but you've got a lot of townhouses. So your townhouses would have been for the mills and stuff like that,
Yeah, would have been like where I live right now. It's the Victorian cottage of terraces that would have been workers. But obviously we didn't here. It was more textiles.
Yeah.
I thought, I'll have a quick quote on X and see like any updated stories or whatever. And Ace is on there. Right. And she said, my mouse is broken, so I can't turn my PC on. We'll be back online on the 3rd when I get a new mouse.
Right.
Not having much.
I just said, I think I've got a spare one here, if that helps you any. But that's quite a way away, isn't it?
Knock, 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 knock.
Yeah, she's only up the road, so she walked past here.
Yeah, I've had a few encounters with Ace over the last year and a bit.
Yeah.
She's a good egg.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, she is. Be good to see her come back on.
Yeah. What else we got? Are there any more questions in chat? Have you got any interesting snippets in chat at all?
Well, I was just thinking about what we were saying then about wealth. In an ideal world, yes, you'd put a cap on it, but that wouldn't be realistic because obviously that would change depending on the value of money. Yeah. So maybe if it were a percentage or something, and then it has to be reinvested in community, that's something that could really actually happen.
Yeah. So when you get up to that cap, you see, then you start getting charged 1% interest for every 100,000 that you make above that cap. You know what I mean? Then that'd make them keep that cap down, so they're not charged so much interest, or they could do that and then be a philanthropy for the village or for their employees.
I think they're going to have to do it really because of the current system is all extraction. It's all people at the bottom giving to the top. And when, like, if there's a war or something like that, like after the Second World War, they had to have a reset, and that forced them to come back down the chain. And it's going to have to do that again because the extreme is too much.
Yeah.
And it's not going to
I mean, maybe they could get the cap risen or at least I mean, look at when it seems when you've got enough money that you don't know what to do with it anymore, then you start building space rockets. You know what I mean? Which is then to kind of further human evolution. When you're going into space. So if they're doing things like that, then fine. You know what I mean? Then you might not even have to fund NASA so much. You get me? Not that they get a great deal anyway. I think it's a quarter of a penny out of the pound, isn't it? Something like that in tax, out of your tax. It's not a lot. I mean, but a flat earther wouldn't have you believing that. They'd have you believing that that's actually crippling the country doing space travel by NASA.
But if you just tax them to buggery, then they're all going to leave, and then you've got no investment.
Absolutely, yeah, correct.
It's got to be done.
Yeah,
there has to be a way that is fairer, and this is where I think you can get commonality with the left, and where you could actually make some progress. Because they want that too. They
do want, tax the rich, but they're on about taking all the money off them, aren't they? Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's where they're wrong. Then, if there were a compromise could be found on economics between the left and the right, and I think there could.
Yeah.
I've got something to show you that's come up on X. I just saw it. I've got to see what you guys think of this one.
Rupert, no bollocks. No thanks. No, thank you. Who's put this up?
We,
Some bloke in
we got
pub.
Phil saying Dr. Jake said racism does not exist when he's never said that. Not that I've heard. So that's a bit of a strange one. But
I'm not really that bothered whether you believe that, to be perfectly honest.
Who's posted
he
this?
said at
Bloke in
football
pub.
matches you hear it, but everywhere else it does not exist. No, he never said that. You completely misheard that.
Yeah.
He said you can say it at football matches because that's what you do at football matches. Shout out a load of abuse.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do that anyway.
Anywhere else. So
because Phil made a racist comment earlier when he said a white man saying racism doesn't exist. That is racist by definition.
Yeah.
I can't stand racists, you know.
Right.
Yeah, impact.
Yeah.
But he said racism existed about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
going
in
on?
fact,
with people?
Didn't think it existed.
The only way to stop racism is to stop talking about racism. I mean, that's
Yep.
perfectly,
Yep.
you know.
But here it said that rumours
Samuel-
are growing that Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage could be preparing to join forces. If true, that would mark one of the most significant political shifts in recent years. A united front, a stronger voice.
Never done
That would just be suicide for Restore Britain because people would be following reform
They
anyway.
would not be able to make any policies on anything. I can't even see reform managing to make any policies on anything because you've got that guy, that Labour leader that I mentioned earlier, that Labour leader who said, "Oh yeah, we want more immigrants in," and David Bull
Not
saying
possible.
this country was built on immigrant. What's it? Who posted that?
Oh, it's one to pick.
Because it says chief, so I know it's from her.
Thank you. Nah, email me if you.
500 followers from 2. Very well done.
Yeah.
Let me copy that. Yeah, my blooming ex, I put up a bit like, oh my God, you see my profile? Literally, I had 21 followers on Saturday. I put up a post, which is the video where I was saying about like Rupert Lowe, they're probably, you know, Resource probably your best bet, like other than Reform.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, someone's like, "Oh, I share it," and it's like, "Oh yeah, Restore Britain, whatever, follow." I've literally just caught up today. It took like the best part of 5 days to catch up. Mate, it went from 21 to 798 followers just because of Restore.
Mm-hmm.
That is ridiculous. I've been posting on there.
QQQ from Gracie. From Grace. QQQ. What did you say?
But it was ridiculous. And I've been posted on here, left, right, and centre for Advance. Nothing.
Well done.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, isn't it weird?
How you are.
But,
news and reviews and interviews. Restore Britain and Advance UK. Stick like that. Let's see whether or not we can unite the two parties. If you do, Wiz, you'll be famous. From the emails that I send out.
What is Advance for anymore? That's what I want to know.
What in Advance for?
Yeah.
What is Advance actually for? Because it's hemorrhaging members. It's not doing well.
Noted, to be honest. Noted, but I would like to try and get them all amalgamated together. Some kind of, thing.
And I know that people have worked really, really hard on working towards making something happen. And, I do feel bad for the people that have invested their time and their money into this venture. That's unfortunately what happens with new political parties. You don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah.
And if Rupert hadn't come along when he did, then maybe a very different conversation we'd be having right now about Advance.
Here's a situation for you, right? Supposing that he did start getting on the television and started getting billboards up and stuff like that, and then people that, because there's only about 18% of people that get news from the internet, right? What happens if the rest of the people, or most of the other people, or the majority of the other people, think that it is a little bit too racist? What choice do they have then if Advance UK isn't on the table?
Yeah. Exactly. It looks like the only alternative that people are being presented with at the moment is being presented as reform.
Yeah. Because you've also got to remember that those people on the internet, most of them know of the podcast of the Lotus Eaters and also know of the state of politics YouTube channel. You know what I mean? They also probably know of Dynabane. All these are really big names, and they're all pushing for this kind of.
They are, and it's working really well online. But is that translating offline? Probably not.
No. I think it's. I mean, if they are going down that route, then it could be just as bad as the BNP. You know what I mean? They got a little bit of traction in the beginning, and then everybody fell off, didn't they? Just like Tommy Robinson's different parties when he left them, you know, because he found out that they were racist.
But if there were a really ultra right wing racist party came about, then is it any surprise really after the migration that we've received? Of course, it's inevitable that's
and people are going off the target. You know what I mean? They're now starting targeting people like Ben and Based and Bougie, and you know, these are the wrong kind of people that you should be against, if in my opinion, anyway.
The people who are the real genuine enemy are the civil servants and all of the people who work in the treasury and stop all of the things that we want to happen from actually happening, because they believe in open borders and migration. They're the problem, because once somebody leaves office, because they're only there for 4 years, the person in the civil service who's at the top of their position is still there. Because their career will last 30, 40, 50 years.
I think the civil service and that are very similar to the DHS, aren't they, in America? And look at you've seen all the queues in. Has that got something to do with DHS? Because now they've got no jobs, they're all buggering off.
Yeah. Well, this is where what we need is what Elon Musk did when he started with Trump. Come in, cut out all the shit, get rid of all the waste. We think how much in terms of billions we would save by getting charities, the NGOs, all of the shit committees that we don't need, that just cost money, exist just to exist.
Yeah, we do need a British Doge, don't we?
Yeah,
and then follow it up with British eyes.
Because
follow it up with that. Yeah.
All they do at these meetings is they just essentially go over what they said last time and then arrange to have another meeting. Nothing ever gets resolved.
No.
And that's the problem with the system of government that we've got. What we need to have is the politicians directly accountable for making decisions. So then we can get rid of them, or we can promote them if we feel the need to do so.
Yeah. And this is actually a good point that Advance UK, you know, a good, what they call it, a good guideline that Advance UK had. You know, you're able to vote Habib out, you know.
But with all of the great plans and the great policies and all of the things that could possibly be done, it doesn't matter if there's not the public support. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that the public need to be convinced that the government is no longer legitimate.
Yeah. So I had a date yesterday. I'm going again tomorrow because she wants.
Oh yeah. What's his name?
John. Anyway, so I had a date the other day, and I'm talking to her. I said, because it's my mum's neighbour, right? So obviously they've both been talking over the fence about me and stuff, you know. And then my mum's talked to me about they know all this lot, and my mum says always he likes politics and does a lot of streaming, and so I start talking to her in the car, and I said, "So you're not into politics?" And she said, "No, I don't vote." I said, "Well, you ought to vote." I said, "If you're not interested in politics, politics is interested in you." And she said, "Oh yeah, I get that." And then the conversation got onto about trans stuff and all that. Like, she said, "Oh yeah, I don't agree with that." I said, "Well, that's politics, my dog." I said, "There's no two ways of looking about it. That's politics. Absolutely everything that you do, like me driving you to wherever we're going to today in my car, has just cost me £1.65 a litre, right? Whereas last week it were only £1.40. Yeah, I said it's all politics. Everything that you're looking at.
Yeah, you have to excuse my ignorance there, because obviously I can't drive, so I've never been into a garage, but it's gone up 25p.
Yeah. In a week, maybe two weeks. Yeah, soon me up to £2.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I filled it up the other day. A little bargain, £1.65. Well, I'll be looking at it as a bargain, you know, next week when it's up to £2 or whatever, you know, which is the rumours. I mean, if they don't open up the Strait of Hormuz, then it looks like it could very well hit
It could.
A litre.
Absolutely no reason whatsoever why it should, because we should be drilling our own oil in the North Sea. We shouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah, they brought this up in Parliament today, actually.
They did.
Someone else.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we should be drilling.
No.
Yeah.
I knew a woman was a hormoose.
A worm.
A woman that was a hormoose.
Oh, we've all met one of them. We all woke up at the side of one after a night session of drinking.
No. Never.
I'm
even more picky when I'm pissed.
Well, I used to be a DJ. I used to get pissed regular. When you open that one eye in the morning, and you've got your arm around a lot, and you can't see curtains for the entire silhouette of the woman. Woman, fingers crossed, woman.
When I went clubbing for the first time ever, my dad gave me a torch, and I was like, "Why do I want to go clubbing with a torch?" And he said, "Well, look what I come home with."
Yes. Stuff like that. Yeah.
So you've been then? How did it go?
Oh, marvellous. Well, she wants another date with me. Mind you, I think my phone's been off a couple of times now since I've been streaming, so I don't know whether or not she said, "No, fuck off, you're an idiot. You've been talking to me on internet about me on internet. You never know."
She's probably watching you now, like, you bastard. You called me a hormoose.
Let me have a look. I bet it's Tommy Robinson. Oh, Google security alert. I allowed StreamYard to do shit.
If she's actually a hormoose, at least, like, you got a chance, because apparently she's straight hormoose.
Yes. There you go. What did I say? Tommy Robinson, look. Tommy Robinson, every time. Always getting a daily email. "Oh, Richard, can you help me out?" "No, I can't. I ain't got any money. Sorry, Tommy." I support you.
With Tommy, his endorsement of Advance was really what made it.
Yeah. He's got another May 16th, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's got a May 16th coming up, so whether or not he's going to have
Didn't he say about Restore?
Drum up some more stuff. Yeah, and it is also supporting Restore.
May the 16th, every single person draw a picture of Mohammed and hold it up.
Yeah. It looked like that. Yeah.
What are the police going to do about it? It's free expression.
Yeah. Oh, I know the joke to that one. What Focus on Britain just said there. I know it's about these dentists in. Sorry, no, not dentists. No, just nightclub goers in Manchester or Yorkshire, shall I say? Yeah, Yorkshire. What they've been doing, they've been injecting MDMA straight into the gums using dentist needles. They're calling it e-by gum. Gum. He's too far south. You not Gary. Too far south.
I get it. It's just like it's not even up in par with my bad jokes. I mean, your joke was so low, I think I accidentally trod on it. Do you know what I mean?
Probably.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing. I'll give you some advice, mate. Don't ever get your nipple pierced. Because I got my nipple pierced when I was about 20, maybe 19, 20 years old. And now I'm 49. Literally, I get up in the morning, I'm worried I'll catch my toe on it.
I imagine that to be a true story as well.
But it is, mate. I'm going on B cup. I used to have. I tell you, it's even worse because I used to go down the gym all the time, like 6 days a week. And then you stop going down the gym, mate. It goes south quick. I was like, wow. And it makes it worse.
40, I think.
Yeah,
it's about then. I was gymming it, but me pecs and my boobs.
I used to have my eyebrow pierced, but that grew out after about 5 years. I can remember getting that done, right? And a couple of nights later, mate, Bruce were only just going down. This chuffing gonk one ball, grabbed hold on it and pulled it. Ah! What a bitch.
Never had any tattoos.
Oh yeah, I've got a fair few tattoos and that, but at least now I can literally feel a right tit. But it's my own. But you know, what can you do?
I need a wee. Can you see everything moving? Is everything moving while I keep jogging my leg up and down because I need a wee. I'm keeping it in, right? I'm gonna mute and see in a bit.
All right, geese.
Sure, you are going to mute it.
I don't like toilets. They take the piss.
They're shit as well.
Yep. They're bad jokes. Bad jokes. Right, what are you saying in chat? What's going on? You got any questions? Do you want to ask Jake a question or me about my breasts or anyone else? I did see one of them say a bearded tit is rare. That made me chuckle. You got two bearded tits here. But oh, there, Geo, that made me laugh.
Well, at least it's been
funny as
that last week.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, and we got another, like, we do the other call-ins on Saturday and Sunday at 4. I'll drop the Thursday one because I think just one and even because I've got to be careful as well. I like to overdo everything. Do you know what I mean? I've got to be careful with me heart and that. Even my wife's like, well, what you doing? You do it like 7 days a week. You do it in the evening. Like, you keep adding it. All right, let me take one away.
Just do whenever it's convenient for you, and I would say just if you're consistent with it, I think people respond to that and they get used to the routines.
Yeah, that's it. I tried to stick it. I don't mind doing 1 o'clock every day because I'm around. Do you know what I mean? So I can do that. And weekends, I get bored. Do you know what I mean? Like, the grandkids come around for a couple of hours, but by 4 o'clock, I'm like, what am I doing? So them I can do. And an evening spy, like me and the missus, we normally watch Criminal Minds at 9 o'clock tonight. But if we don't, then I watch it on 5 catch up tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? So we sit and watch that. But that's about it. I mean, I'm quite a boring person, so you know.
I'll WhatsApp
Hello, Bobby.
you then at 9:05.
Oh, Bobby's Bobby.
But
I'll WhatsApp you about.
I'm supposed to take the
9:05
meds
then.
at 9. Got meds at 9. Take them, and then normally around 10:30, I start like going all like, like it's like listening to Richard. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh.
Did you notice the decorating in me when I have my door open there? I've put light on for you so you can see it. It sparkles.
Very nice.
Yes, it looks like a My Little Pony stable.
Well, it's because we've got this day coming round. That's why. You've got to get
my cousin's done it today, bless him. So what did I just see there? Why has the treasurer of Advance UK resign and join Restore? Phil Bunnyfold. Well, I'll tell you why. Because it was mentioned on whose channel was it today? What's his name? Was it Nick Buckley? No, it weren't Nick Buckley. It was someone else. Oh, Simon Eborn. It was on Simon Eborn earlier on today. If you go and check out that stream after you've watched this and left a like and subscribed, then you'll find out. Simon Eborn, his name is, or Matthew Eborn. Eborn, just type that in, you'll get it. And he explains
I don't
why.
know. I don't know nothing about this Cuban situation. It was mentioned the other day, and I wrote it down on Cuban, and I still didn't look into it. Do you know Jake or Rich?
I don't know a lot about it. I mean, I've heard this rumor as well, and it's possible. I mean, the Cubans have been on the American radar for years. They tried try and invade in the 60s and failed, so it's possible.
All I know about Cuba at the moment is that they're around a massive power cut or something.
So who's trying to invade who?
Trump.
Oh, Trump.
Yeah,
he
Trump.
got Maduro out, didn't he? They lifted him out that same night that he said, right, I'm coming to get you. Got him. That were it, done. But now...
So is that the same situation as Iran then, basically? The leaders are absolute psychos and they want to slaughter their own people or something?
No. They're communists.
Yeah. They're having to get...
Oh, I was going to say, don't tell me Trump wants a cigar, so it's like, oh, I'll invade Cuban and just take all them.
Have been for years and years and years. But...
Or a line of Coke.
If there's something that Trump wants there, some resources, then I'm sure he'll find a way of getting it.
Yeah. I suppose though, if he goes to war because he wants Cuban cigars, that's probably just more proof that smoking kills.
There you go. So do you think the Cuban regime will be forced out? And on the Cuban people, they're very up for Trump now. Just like Iran. Yeah, so I imagine I don't know, they might kick off with a civil war or something. I don't know, because I think
I just don't know enough to comment.
No.
Go back 100 years and look at where we would have been then. We were in the position that America is currently in.
Yeah.
And they took all of our wealth at the end of the Second World War, which is why they're in the position they're in now.
Yeah.
They didn't give us money out of the kindness of their heart. They knew that they were deliberately, essentially bankrupting the empire.
Mm. Who America did?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
of course they loved
I've gone brained it.
But so, it was to bankrupt us.
Well, being a communist regime. So what's that then? I'm trying to bloody learn, because I've been learning all about secular and everything. But blimey out, it's communist. What does that?
They believe that there's no such thing as private property. Everything belongs to the government. Everybody is equal, and the government is like a massive state that's in charge of everything and distributes everything. So the government will decide how many cars are going to be built and who gets one, and how much food needs to be grown and who gets that food.
Yeah, similar to Russia and North Korea, but it didn't go very well for North Korea.
Wow.
Nor Russia now. And China as well. Everybody's kicking up a fuss about China now.
In Soviet Russia, everybody had to have a job, and every job was treated equally. Although actually there was a bit more of a sort of favoritism towards the manual labor. They were sort of romanticized, but essentially in communist Russia, a doctor and a laborer were essentially the same.
Yeah, and Iran as well.
Yeah,
Iranian regime, all of the Islamic. Well, no. Sorry, no. I'm talking bullshit there, because I don't think Qatar is, or Saudi Arabia, UAE. I don't think that's communist, but they don't treat their people very well. Basically, it's what the Greens want. It's what the Greens want, and yeah.
And it always ends up in the same way. The whole country ends up poor. Loads of people get murdered.
All the money goes to the top.
Wow.
It does. Yeah, I see Grace is.
Yeah, because I actually come up with this idea, when I was about 7-year-old or something like that, talking to my dad, and I says to him, Dad, if everybody had exactly the same together, right, then surely everything would work out, wouldn't it? And he says to me, no, because there's always greed in the world, son. He says, and the people at the top would want all the money. I said, oh, right. And that was the last conversation I ever had about communism. I completely understood where it was coming from.
You completely understood as a 7-year-old how shit.
Yeah. I understood. Yeah, well, you're right, because I understood money. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't know how to manage it, but I understood where it was coming from. Because
communism is a good idea in principle, and it appeals because it's morally fair, and it works in small communities.
Yeah.
So it could work in a small village, for example. But once you start expanding it to the state level, that's when you really get into the problems.
Yeah.
It's like work, actually. They have communal rules.
Yeah. Plus, of course, it attracts corruption even more than what capitalism does, really. Well, no, then again, I think capitalism and communism both, attract corruption, because
capitalism is supposed to restrain itself through thing called the invisible hand, and it's supposed to redistribute the wealth back down, and that isn't happening right now.
Yeah.
And it should.
Yeah, decent government, and then fingers crossed, especially with Rupert Lowe. Nobody trolled him to account.
Well, I'm hopeful.
Flip-flop on everything. You never know.
We're in the shit. We've been in the shit before in our history, and one of the things about Britain is that we've always managed to get that to do the right thing eventually, and it will take time, but we will correct this.
Yeah, I don't think the armies and stuff like that. I think there's like 6 frigates or something, 2 aircraft carriers we've got. That's about it.
It's disgraceful. It is. It really is just like that, though, isn't it? That isn't even not even a joke. It literally is.
And most of them are in dry docks getting refitted.
Yeah.
Put next to God knows how many years. You know what I mean?
Graceful. I mean, the one of the primary things that a government should do is make sure that the private property of the individual citizens is protected, and you do with a defence force.
Yeah, of course.
I would massively increase spending on the military up to at least 10%. Never mind 3% that it is now.
Yeah.
Do housing. You know, you can look at how much more employment would there be if you had.
Then again, though, Jake, have we not brought up a workforce of lazy people? Because I mean, look at your potholes in road. We've had AND done, and you can see that as soon as a heavy vehicle goes over it, it's just going to pull that little plaster out of the road. Yeah. Because they haven't gone down to grid works and made it so it actually sticks. You know, like when you glue a model together, you've got to roughen the edges up and stuff like that. They don't do that with tarmac nowadays because it's just too idle. They just think, oh yeah, I'm going to get paid full dollar for this off at council because they're all corrupt and all, don't really look at what they're doing. Yeah, and then they just pour it full of hot tar and then just leave it to set. You can see it's going to pull out. Yeah, you know, ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. You know, you get what you pay
for.
Take
it easy, Pouncy.
Yeah, but they charge them exactly the same as what they charge them to, you know, expose grid works or you know, or what's it, that concrete cutter, you know, a petrol concrete cutter. I didn't hear one of them, you know, and I think that what they do is like put a groove in the lower section of the road, put grooves in so as it's got purchase on the ground on the road, you know what I mean, and then that makes it last longer. But I didn't hear anything.
Wouldn't have these problems if we were teaching people in colleges how to do these trades properly.
Correct.
We've got enough people to do it. What we don't have in this country is a stable infrastructure. I mean, the roads are shit, the train lines are shit, the airport is shit.
Yeah. It went right through me. When train pulled up in Manchester, I had to get from Piccadilly to Chesterfield or something, and train pulled up. Oh my God, you should have heard it. It sounded like metal against metal with the brake shoes. So they hadn't been, the brake shoes hadn't been replaced. You know what I mean? You could hear it. You could imagine that there were sparks and that. I mean, I didn't listen to Last Carriage, but that's where it was coming from. Yeah, I didn't see any sparks out because I couldn't see that wheel, but I could hear it. You know what I mean? Or proper, like fingers down a chalkboard. Oh God!
It's quite an unusual train service that we have here because the line goes from Ipswich to Lowestoft, and in my town there literally is just a platform. There's no ticket office or anything like that, and the train itself is one carriage.
Yeah, that was ridiculous as well. You know, you like got to know where your train was coming at the time that it arrived to tell you which, you know, platform. It didn't tell you on your ticket, you know, but you'd been charged like 40 odd quid just to go to the next chuffing town along, which were Manchester or city along from Piccadilly, you know, because I had to go to, you know, about 40 quid. That's all it told you on there, you know, and then I had to go and find some station person, you know, station master and say, which line's this coming on? Oh yeah, that'll be this line here, you know, but you didn't know. You had to, you know, and all timetables were upstairs as well. So you know you had to stand upstairs watching where your train were going to come in if you didn't see station master, and then you had to run back downstairs again when it came because you had 2 minutes to board or something. It was ridiculous, stupid, chuffing British Rail. Well, they're not in British Rail anymore, are they?
No, they're not. Different now, aren't they?
Yeah, all privatised. Yeah, so they obviously scrimped and.
Jake, have you only got one carriage?
Yeah.
Then surely that's just a bloody bus on a track, isn't it?
It is pretty much, yeah.
It's a locomotive.
Not a bloody train, is it?
It's a locomotive, yeah.
Don't let me overstate it. Sometimes it has 2 carriages.
Yeah. That'd be a train.
That's like they say 2 buses come at the same time, isn't it? 2 come at once.
Yeah.
Get lost.
Let's go back to what you said about the armed forces. You'll invest more money in that. Right, I actually looked this up earlier because I thought, it'd be interesting to know, and I'll actually be able to bring it up on the screen now because I saved it. But do you actually know how many personnel we have in the Army, the Royal Navy and Royal Marines, and the Royal Air Force?
I think we've got 73,000 in the Army. So I looked it up the other day. I don't know about the total though. Probably about 100,000.
And half of
Army
them
is
are hairdressers
between-
and makeup artists.
Army is between 77,600 and 82,000 personnel. The Royal Navy and Royal Marines is 33,009 personnel. And the Royal Air Force is around 32,000 personnel. And these figures reflect the full-time trained strength across all branches of the UK Armed Forces. So if you include those training and all people like high up and all that, in total, the Armed Forces has around 180,780 personnel.
Yeah. We've also got more flag admirals.
That's
and we've got
really, that's bad.
We've
And
got
there
more.
are 2 million male Muslims in this country.
Yeah.
40,000 of whom
more.
from that 2 million are on the terror watch list.
40,000.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you just want to send the Royal Air Force at them, that's 32,000. Like what? The Army, let's just say it's a higher end, 82,000. Well, what? I thought we're supposed to have like the ultimate, like, let's be proud of our armed forces, and you know, we're a force to be reckoned with. We're oh my word, it's like we're about as good as a fire under a blanket.
I would like to see national service come back, to be honest, 2 years where you do work that is military, you also do community work, because I think that will help to embed people within culture and feel that they're part of the country.
Yeah, see, I was thinking about that and I was like, yes, I agree, but they have to be really strict on like the mental health of these people before they start doing anything, because I think that could end up, do you know what I mean? But I agree, they should do, because I mean, imagine if we all sort of, you know, at the age of say 16 to 18 or 18 to 21 or something, where you have to, you know, pick which one, and you'd have to be a better person for it, because you will learn discipline, work ethic. None of it's on the dole, sitting watching PlayStation, smoking weed all day. Oh, I can't find a job. Yeah, because you're not bloody looking, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's, you'll be out there, and it'll give you, by the time you get home and you want to sit down and play a PlayStation, you'll be bored. You're like, no, I want to go and get a job. So nothing bad could come from that. So I agree with what you said, Jake. That's what I'm saying.
I also think that they should do things within their community. Like, for example, it wouldn't really count for much around here, but it would in a city. They could do things like patrols in local areas. They could do things like clean up the graffiti and make it look tidy. Because I fucking hate graffiti. Luckily, we do not have it. It gets cleaned up straight away, but just little things like that, like I say, will embed people in the community, and they'll make it will feel like it's their own community. Then they'll feel part of it. And then if they do see someone doing some littering or some graffiti, then they'll think, no, I'm not having that. I spent time clearing that up, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. They take more offense, so they'd actually react to, rather than just like, oh yeah, you know, oh, we see this everywhere, it's whatever. Oh, let me just throw my chewing gum wrapper. Yeah.
They can also do drills and things like that, and they can do a parade through the town, which always brings people out. They used to do it in Rochester a lot, have the military would march through, and it used to piss me off because I lived on the high street and you'd hear those bloody bagpipes and those drums, but still, we're always crowded.
Yeah. Bloody bagpipes.
I hate
that. That's a bit racist.
I don't care. Horrible. They sound out of tune constantly.
Yep. They do. They do that, don't they? They do. But I think like
I feel the same about
as it stands. I think about
Arabic.
Yeah.
Durka.
Horrible sound, and when they start singing in it, they do something we don't do in Western music, which is because we have notes and half notes. They quarter notes, so it sounds almost out of tune to us, which is why it just sounds like horrible wailing rubbish.
Yeah.
That must be like what we call a blunt razor Arabic.
Yes, I see
what I've done there.
I see
me what you've been reading.
But what do you reckon though? Like, if something did seriously happen in the world of like, oh crap, we need our armed forces. I don't know about you, but after finding out these numbers, I'm going to be a bit worried. Like, we could literally get splattered and taken over.
You want to be worried
because of the Second World War was. No one expected there to be a Second World War. They thought the First World War was the war to end all wars. The Second World War introduced total warfare, where cities were completely flattened. Never seen anything like it. And so the consensus was, we don't ever want this to happen again. And so because of that, and because of thinking that they're safe, particularly once the Cold War ended, people have just taken their eyes off defence and thought no one's going to bother attacking us. We're safe.
Yeah.
They see it as just something that is, it's not even a safety valve. It's just like an obligation that they have to have an armed force.
Yeah. Now let's vote in this government that's all about the Fabian Society. Well done. Well done. Consensus of the human race. Well done.
I'm not sure that their influence is quite as strong as some people make out that it is. But it's definitely an influence.
Yeah.
It's mental. Absolutely mental.
On that night, I'm going to bid you gentlemen good evening because I'm getting a bit sleepy.
And, I was about to say I need to go and take my meds now. It's gone 9 o'clock, so I've got to go and take my meds and blah blah blah. So it's all good.
Yeah.
So
any
it's over 2 hours.
Are we done? Are we done with
chat? No questions. Right, good.
Yeah.
I've got to take my pill. I'm 10 minutes late. I didn't realise. I literally said to you, like, whatever. And I looked and it was like 5 to 9. And the next thing, now it's 10 past. Like, I said about criminal minds, didn't I? And I know that because I've got to take my pills.
Quarter past.
And then the next thing's 10 past. So I'm blaming Jake because he mentioned the military or something. So we went off on one.
I take full responsibility for all distractions.
Well, in that case, mate, you better like piss off, ain't you?
Yeah, and I mean, I've already done racism, so I obviously must be terrible. So I need to go.
I haven't caught that one.
Hang your head in shame.
I ain't caught that one yet, Alan Crystal. I'll have to look I'll have to look at Patrick Christie. Patrick Christie about.
But happy days. But what's today? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I'm back tomorrow at 1.
Wednesday.
I'm back tomorrow at 1. So but like I say, I do randomly go on my throat. I've got something going on the back of my throat. I hope it's not bloody meningitis.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had it for like 3 days. It's slowly getting worse at the back of my throat.
No, that's not meningitis. That is not meningitis. You'd have an headache by now. You'd have an headache within 2 hours. So it's not meningitis. You'll be fine.
I was being flippant. Because if it was anything, I'd have to go to the doctors. Like ASAP, because any pressure on my heart, I'm screwed. But anyway, I'll let you go. You said you wanted to go, didn't you? And we end up talking. Next thing we know, it'll be 10:15.
I know, but thank you both very much. It's been a pleasure, as always. And to everyone in the chat, too. Good to see you. And
no worries, mate.
See you, Jake.
I'll be safe. 1 o'clock tomorrow.
See you, chat.
See you later, mate. See you later.
I'm going. Bye. I'll not be here tomorrow because I've got a date. Same as I say. Bye. See you, Wiz.
Okay, mate.
Cheers,
good
chat.
luck.
Bye.
Good luck. Hey. All right, see you later, mate. Take it easy. Oh, happy days. Oh, clicked it. There we go. There we go, fellas. Fellas, like they're gone, aren't they? I can't talk to them anymore. What am I on about? But yes. But I think last time we went on for like 3-4 hours, and I don't want to bore you all to death. Do you know what I mean? So I thought we'd do a couple of hours. So that's cushy, innit? So, and hopefully it's like watching a movie. But I'm back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Might be a call-in. Depends what I'm talking about. But the other, what am I talking about? Who talks like that? But obviously Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. Then the next call-in one. So happy days. So thank you to every single one of you in chat. I really appreciate you spending your time with me this evening. And obviously with Jake and Rich, who are up here, who are marvelous to talk to. And thank you to Geo for becoming a member today. I very, very much appreciate your support. So please, everybody, take it easy, stay safe, have a good evening. That's what you got to do. Have a good evening. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, like I say at the end of every single blooming live stream, that is the Wizard's words.